She said, what, you guys? I'm sleepy.
Oh my goodness. Right back in.
Well, it's time to wake up. Yes! Good morning! Good morning, friends. Excuse my voice. Clearly, I have been sick. So we came from almost 100 weather in Nashville to Wisconsin, where the weather has been crazy. It has been super hot to super rainy to cold to now being a beautiful sunny day outside, 80 degrees. What? So I think that's what hit my body and like made me sick all at once. I've been sick for probably 5 days now. I feel much better today. Buen provecho, Chappy.
I'm currently getting forced to love on Pablo. But, guys, I honestly think it's time. We've put it off long enough. And well, I guess we can tell you guys the story about how we met. Wow, Pablo. You have such stinky breath. Shoo! He just got up on the bed here and has forced his love on me. Oh my goodness. Where did he learn this? Where do you think Pablo learned all this love?
From me.
I've got Jake under my feet here.
Hola Amigees, we are Maria Jose and Chase. In 2018, we sold our home and moved into a 40-foot school bus with our dogs Jake and Pablo.
In an effort to live our lives deliberately, we hit the road. Since then, we've met the most amazing people, and we've made friends for life.
Push the limits of our comfort zones, learn new skills.
Explored the unknown, and witnessed the most amazing sunsets.
We invite you to subscribe and join us along this journey.
Friends, I guess it's time.
It's time we tell you guys how we met.
We wanted to make it special and take you along with us to all the places and how this story took off, right?
So since we're here in Madison, where it all started, we figured that now is the proper time. But we're gonna let you hear both sides of the story because I think it happened a certain way.
And I think it happened a certain way.
And we'll let you guys decide. Because I guess ultimately it happened both ways from both perspectives. But we're excited. This is fun for us.
Yes.
And we hope you all enjoy it as well. So let's go.
Well, friends, I stay by myself in the Jeep. I'm waiting for Chase. And I thought it was a perfect opportunity to tell you my side of the story. Everything started in March of 2015, so almost 5 years ago. I moved all the way from Venezuela to Wisconsin with my family at the end of 2014. It was a little hard time for me. I was kind of sad and depressed from living my whole life in Venezuela with my friends and, you know, my family, and moved to a new country with, like, from zero. I didn't know anybody. It was just hard times. I was going to METC for English as a second language, and I had an old phone, an old Samsung. You might be wondering, why is this important for the story? Well, this old Samsung broke, and it was about time to get a new phone. My dad had an account with Sprint, and he told me, well, why you don't go and check it out at the mall and see if you can buy a new phone. So I was super excited. They have this plan for buying an iPhone because I wanted an iPhone at the time. But because my family and I have been here for so little, I didn't have my social yet. It was like in the process of all my paperwork and all that, but I had a student like visa. So they were like, oh no, we cannot sell it to students. You have to have green card and a social and all that. So I left with my broken phone. I keep walking in the mall and I'm like, oh, perfect, there's a Best Buy. They must have something that I can charge my phone with. So it was this tiny little store inside of the East Madison Mall. And now we have to wait for Chase for his side of the story.
So I had been living on the west side of Madison with my buddy Ben, who was a general manager for Best Buy. I guess to give you some background, I was a general manager for a Best Buy location as well. I was on the east side of town, which is absolutely not the most glamorous location at all. We had our fair share of crimes and harassment and almost being stabbed, drug deals in front of the store, that sort of thing. But I was off work this particular day, and I think we had a market meeting coming up, and I was just in business casual clothes, making sure my team was on point. They knew what, you know, was possibly going to be asked or required of them. We were running back through numbers and things like that. And I was on the phone with my buddy Ben, and Marisa walks in.
That's me.
So I'm on the phone, and if you can imagine, like, this is not what I'm expecting at all. Some, you know, beautiful little, who knows who she is, walk through the door. And I'm just like, whoa, buddy, I gotta go. No explanation whatsoever. I put the phone down. And
well, Chase is like this, and then he goes like this. Hi.
I put the phone down. I say hey to her, welcome her to the store, and she says, do you have a battery charger? My phone's broken. And I was just like, no, I don't have a battery charger. Maybe the other Best Buy here in Madison does. And she says, oh, okay.
Thanks, bye.
And she turns around and walks away. And here I am, I'm thinking, buddy, what are you doing? You have to stall somehow. So I'm like, hey, wait. I'll call them. They have a Samsung department, and I'll see if maybe someone there has an external charger for
Yeah,
you.
he's like, that way you don't have to drive all the way there, but like
It's like
2 seconds.
you could walk there in a matter of just a few minutes.
And I'm like, okay.
So she sits down and I call. Thankfully, they don't answer. I call again. So 4 times total, they didn't answer. And I'm thinking, okay, well, I've got to stall. I've got to figure out, you know, what I can do to help this girl out.
So in all of these, I'm sitting there. Of course, I know, guys, I know my English is not perfect, but my English back then was worse than now.
Her English was great.
Ay, baby, por Dios.
It was broken, but it was great.
It was, okay, I could communicate.
I could understand everything that she was trying to say.
So, in all of these, I guess we start talking about what happened to my phone.
Yeah, it was beat up, guys.
Yeah,
I mean, it was
like
really beat up.
And I guess now you know me.
Yeah,
And
she beats every phone up.
yeah, so I'm very clumsy. Whatever. My phone was not charging, so what I wanted was like a battery charger.
Take the battery out, plug it in, because the bottom wasn't working. That'll get
Done.
you through.
And he's like, well, we don't have that, but why you don't get a new phone? And I was like, well, that's my initial plan. So I tell the whole story. I wanted to go to Sprint, get a new phone, but I was a student, I didn't have a social yet, blah, blah, blah.
She somewhat explained the situation to me.
Yeah.
Of how they got here to the States and what was going on in Venezuela. And I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, I've got to find a way to get this girl a phone. So I'm like, I might have an option. You said you're a student, right? And she's like, yeah, I go to the college here and I'm learning, or I'm studying English as a second language.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's all I need. So I go to the back room and I call my ATT rep and I say, hey, Dan Dean, I just met my future wife. She's a student, doesn't have a social yet. I need your help getting her a phone. And he says, whoa, Chase, awesome. You said she's a student, you've confirmed her ID. Yes. So, okay, cool. Well, you know we've got the international student plan. So, perfect. Let's do it. So he gives me the the International Student Social to pump through ATT's side.
Yeah.
And it generates a credit app ID. This is all a bunch of boring stuff. Basically, we were able to get her a phone.
So he gets out of this room and says, which phone do you want? And I'm like, whoa, what? So he explains to me that he was able to help me. And I said, I want an iPhone. And he goes, really? I have an iPhone and I don't love it. Why you don't get a Samsung? I have this deal. If you buy a Samsung, it's only $1. And I was like,
she was wanting a $300 phone after she just explained to me how they came to the States.
yeah, that means don't buy with your own wallet.
Yeah, that's true. But also, she was using a beat up Samsung anyway.
Yeah.
So I figure she just likes Samsungs.
Okay, so he convinced me to get the Samsung even after I wanted to buy the iPhone, but whatever. That's not the point. I ended getting a Samsung.
I made money off of it.
Yeah.
At the store level. The store made money, not me, but.
You made bonus.
Yeah, but we ended up returning your phone, so whatever.
Yeah, at the time I didn't know these. I thought he was just being generous.
I came clean though. I was honest about it like 5 days in.
Yeah. Well, we were talking because this took forever. The whole picking my phone and setting up. I guess we should start and take them to the store.
Yeah, come on, let's go.
And we can continue the story. Let's go.
So basically, this process should have taken all of, I don't know, maybe 15 minutes, right? But we were so deep in conversation and...
It took us like 3 hours.
Yeah, but we got to a certain point where we started talking about like what she does for fun around here versus what I do for fun around here and if she has friends here and so...
And of course my answer was like, no, I don't know anybody. I don't have any friends. I just moved here. I don't know a lot about town. And
I had a really large friend group here. So of course I'm gonna offer for her to come and spend some time with us, right? And hang out.
He's like, oh my god, you totally should come and hang with us. You know, like in a group, you know? Like
I don't remember ever saying anything about a group.
Yeah, he did. He said, oh, you know, like we always go out as a group and like hang out. You totally should come. And I said, okay, cool. Like we should exchange phone numbers.
And she told me once we get the new number
I don't remember
that she was gonna give it to me. Thankfully, it was an easy number, which I'm not gonna say the number here, but it had a rhyme to it.
Supposedly I said I was gonna give him my number. I don't remember that.
She did.
And I left the store. So I called my dad and I said, Dad, I met this cute guy, but I forgot to give him my number. So I was imagining all these reasons of why I should go back to the store and give him my number, but it was just so stupid. Imagine me going back and be like, oh, I forgot to give you my number. No, I was not gonna do that.
Meanwhile, not only did I tell Dan Dean that I met my future wife, but one of my best buddies, Albano, which we went to Puerto Rico, you guys met, we went to Puerto Rico for his wedding.
Yeah.
He came in, he was working for me, I guess, but I guess ultimately I think he was working with me because we were all such close friends. Not long after we all started working together, but he came in and I gave him the biggest, most intense hug in the back in our inventory room, and he was like, what, bro? And I was like, I just met my future wife. And then I told a third person the same thing that same day. I told my dad.
Yeah, you told your dad. So well, I left the store, I called my dad, I told that to my dad, and then I'm driving all excited. Of course, and my dad response is like such a dad response. He's like, you know, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. Don't worry about it. You didn't have to give him your number. And I was like, okay, whatever. So I'm driving home because that day we were moving. And I'm driving and then my phone rings. Not ring, but like...
Got a text.
I got a text and I was like, this is a new number. Like, this is weird, who's texting me? So then I read and it says, hi, this is Chase, the guy from Best Buy. This is my number. I would love to hang out. Something like that, right?
Yeah. And what we failed to mention is I remember her saying we could do something later.
No, I don't remember any of these.
But after I text her, then we were like, hey, or I think, was it me or was it you who said, you want to do something later?
You say, when do you want to do, you say you want to do something later? And I say, like when? And you say like tonight. And I was like, okay. So I got home and I told my family, like, sorry, I couldn't help moving because I'm going on a date. which I guess it was not a date.
We both claimed in the moment it wasn't a date. We'll let you decide. I think it was totally a date.
It was a date too.
But it wasn't, because we both said it wasn't. We were just hanging out as friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all it was.
Yeah.
And we were just two buddies hanging out. We both agreed that 6:30 was gonna work, right? 6:30.
I don't even remember the time.
I remember it. It was 6:30, so I left the store, got out of my business casual attire, drove to the house, showered, changed, cleaned up, and I was back at her address about 10 minutes to 6:30. So what, 6:20? Yeah. And I text her and I'm like, hey, I'm out here. And she's like, what?
I'm not ready.
I'm not ready. Almost an hour later.
I explained that there's a thing called Venezuelan time, which I used to be before, not anymore, which you said 6:30. That doesn't mean you're gonna be ready at 6:30.
It means maybe 7:30, maybe 8. You just get there whenever you get there. You're ready.
Exactly.
So here I am sitting out in front of her apartment for almost an hour.
But then we went on a date. So let's go and see where we went.
Let's go. This is where I got my first taste of Venezuelan food.
And this is one of the first jobs that I have in the United States. It's a Venezuelan restaurant, so we decided to stop for a quick little break and bring you along with us. Let's go.
The next place this brings us is downtown Madison. So we're right here at the Capitol. I had a favorite restaurant up here that I figured would be a really good spot to bring Marisa to, since she hadn't really been out in Madison much, and well, I hadn't had the opportunity to take anyone on a date here, so.
I hope so.
I hadn't, I promise. So this was one of my favorite spots. It's got a really cool ambiance. Yeah, so here we are. So here's the old fashioned, guys.
Here's where Chase brought me on our first date forward last year.
Where we got engaged.
So, it's an amazing restaurant. We were here last week with my friends. They have amazing food. If you love cheese and you love cheese curds, this is the place to come and try them. But we came here first and they were busy.
They were super busy, so they were supposed to be, I think it was an hour wait.
Yeah.
So I was like, we have to have it. We'll go ahead and put our name down and then we'll just go to another spot and have a drink or something on the way or while we wait for our food. So
we put our name down and walk all the way to
Brokaw, which is an Irish pub. I believe it's closed down, but we're gonna head over that way just to see.
Let's go.
Come on.
Well, sadly enough, it's closed now, but it used to be an Irish bar. We came for a beer, which, fun fact, I don't even like beer, but I ended saying like, I wanna order the same that Chase got, and it was this dark beer, Murphy Stout. It was like so strong and disgusting, and I was like, ugh, and I was like, oh, I pay for it, and he was like so excited because like this girl bought him a drink. So at the end he ended chugging both of my beers because Old Fashioned was ready for us. After we have a lovely dinner, we didn't touch our food, we just talk so much and enjoy each other's company. We head to a different spot, so let's go and check it out.
Here's a funny tidbit or a funny fact about that day. It was March, nearing the end of March here in Madison.
So it was freezing.
It was very cold, and I knew this, and I wasn't like trying to be anything spectacular or special, so I brought a coat, and Marisa was wearing nothing that you would want to wear in the winter. Like, it was thin materials and like pants and a shirt, and I offered to let her use my coat just to stay warm, hoping that she wouldn't say yes, but you know, fully.
That's terrible.
But
what
it was
a
so
person.
cold.
Oh my god.
Yeah, hoping that she wouldn't really say yes, but at the same time, you know, kind of expecting and hoping that she would. That way I could just go ahead and give her the coat. Well, she refused and said that she wasn't cold at all. So I was like, well, if you're not gonna wear a coat, I won't wear one either. And I took the coat off.
So
and we both froze
like
to death. We were shivering and shaking, but it was a good time.
I wanted to look here for my date. I hate how you look with coats and a bunch of things and it's just like fake. But
She
cold.
did look cute, and she was cold. She looked cold. Cute cold.
Friends, it turned out to be a hot, humid day. Whew! Tell us where we are, Chase.
So we are at the Monona Terrace, which is on the smaller lake in Madison. For those of you who don't know, Madison is a city on an isthmus between two lakes. You have Mendota on the north side, Monona on the south side, and as a result, winters are very cold.
And windy.
And windy, yeah, because you've got the wind coming just right off of the lakes without anything to really stop it.
So, this is another place that we came. I don't remember if it was in the same day, but we came on a date as friends.
Yeah, it was a cool spot to see the city at night, see the lakes at night, and
As friends.
the whole time I think Marisa wanted me to kiss her, she said.
Whatever.
But I wouldn't.
Yeah, he didn't kiss me.
Be up waiting for you if you had to leave. I would wait a lifetime if you were at sea. I just wanna say that I feel that our love is real. Maybe we should hurry up and seal the deal.
Friends, we're here at Olin Park. This is another place that's pretty significant to us. I always loved this park. I think it has the best view of Madison, as you can probably see right here. So we came.
I think we came that same day. Chase doesn't remember being the same day, but I do remember. I remember my dad being like, "You're late, come on back home. You need to help packing, we're moving." And Chase was like, "Let me take you to one last spot." And I was like, "Okay, hurry up." And I remember we drove up this hill, we parked, and we just took in the view and went back home.
I promise this is the best view of Madison.
I know, it's such a quiet place. So pretty. There's like nobody here. One person. But the day is perfect to just sit here in the grass, enjoy the wind. Probably you can bring a picnic.
Yeah.
Could you? Yeah, that would be nice. An ice cream. Ooh, I would love to have an ice cream right now.
So we're on what's called the Beltline. It's Highway 12, Highway 18 that runs right through Madison, and it connects the east side to the west side. So this is also something that is significant to the early beginnings of our relationship, because Marisa lived on the east side of Madison and I lived on the west side of Madison. And to hang out, I would commute sometimes an hour and a half, just based on traffic like right now, just to see her. Other times it was like 30 minutes, just a little 6-mile drive from one side to the other. But we'd spend a lot of time together, and then we would rush along the belt line to get her home before it was too late.
Somebody, I just wanna love you.
We're back in the bus. We changed. It's another day.
It's gotten cold here.
Chase, I'm not sick anymore. Now Chase is sick.
Yeah.
But we wanted to end this story and tell you what happened after Chase dropped me off at home. Well, he actually dropped me off at the apartment, and then he met my dad.
So the same day that we met, I met her dad.
Yeah, he went upstairs, helped us move, drink a beer with my dad, and the rest is history. Since that day, we saw each other probably every day.
Yeah, we hung out every day after that, and then at a certain point my job took me back to Tennessee, and we became long distance.
Yeah, we were a long distance relationship for like 6 months.
And at that point we had to have some tough conversations.
Yeah.
And at the very beginning, Marisa wasn't sure that she wanted to have a long distance relationship.
Yeah, I was like, this is not gonna work. I think it's better if we break up. And Chase was like, well, let's give it a try. And I was like, well, if you show me that truly you wanna be with me and that you do an effort to be together,
Then we'll try.
then we'll try. And that's what we did. So Chase will work until like Sunday, and then he was off Monday, Tuesday.
Yeah.
So Sunday after work, like around 6, he will drive all the way from Nashville to Madison, which was like 10 hours. Sleep, wake up, do something with me during the day, and then leave again.
Yeah, I would leave when I had to. So I was making a trip probably 3 times a month
Yeah.
to see you.
I flew to go and see him multiple times too.
Yeah, 2 times. And at a certain point, we started discussing the possibility of her moving down. Her condition was that we had a place of our own. From that conversation, I started going out and I decided to buy a house.
Yeah, and then we found the house, got the house, and moved there in October
Yeah.
of 2016.
Yeah.
And we lived in the house until last year. And that's when we decided to do bus life. There's a video about it that we're gonna be putting here somewhere, so you can check that out if you don't know how we ended living in a school bus. We thought today's video was a little bit more personal, and we wanted you to get to know us a little bit more and get to know our story.
It's a crazy one. That ended up in a bus.
I
And
know.
who knows where it's going to take us from here. It was one of those situations that people say all the time. You know it when you know it. And I don't know if you knew it, but I knew it.
When you had boo. That was a terrible high five.
Elbows.
Ouch! That actually hurt. Well, friends, we hope you enjoyed today's video. Don't forget to subscribe, like.
If you have a cool story, let us know about how you
I
and your
know.
significant other met.
I would love to know how you guys met. We'll see you in the next one. Bye!
Take